In this video, what I want to do is answer question 2a. What is very important about this question is this is quite common where they're going to give you a MIDI file and they want you to drag and drop sounds onto that. As a reminder, all MIDI tracks, they haven't got any sound. It is your job to put those sounds onto that track. So in this case, what they want you to do is they want you to have an acoustic drum kit. And they want all these different sounds to be applied to that MIDI track. And this is how you're going to answer that question. In Ableton, the first thing is this. You must drag and drop a drum rack onto that. This is your first step. Go into your drums, go into your drum rack, and drag and drop that drum rack onto that track. What you'll notice is that this box down here will appear. This is where you're going to drag and drop all your individual sounds. Always do this in order. So the next step is this. The kick drum, snare, open hi-hat, and closed hi-hat, they need to be dragged and dropped in order. So the first one is your kick drum. Go into your search function, which again is on kick. I'm aware that I'm using Ableton 12. On Ableton 10, just open up the menu at the very, very top. So on this, I'm going to look for acoustic kit on my kick drum, and I'm going to search through these, and I'm going to find the right kick. In this case, they just want an acoustic drum kit. So I'm going to listen to all of these and I'm going to drag and drop that onto my first box. In this case, C1. The next one is going to be snare drum. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this and I'm going to choose my snare drum. Again, it's already on acoustic, so don't worry about any researching on this. So on this, what I'm now going to do is search for my correct snare drum and I'm going to drag that onto the next one, which is C#1. Keep doing this on your hi-hat. So now go into your hi-hats here. You want a closed hi-hat. So again, find the right one, drag that one down to D1. The next one is now going to be an open hi-hat. So go into now your open hi-hats, find one that you like a lot and drag that one onto D#1. The last one is going to be your crash cymbal. So now go into your cymbal like this, make sure it's a crash cymbal, choose any of these that sound appropriate and drag this into now E1. Once you've got all of your sounds into Ableton, what you now want to do is edit the MIDI. So in this case, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this area. Again, as a reminder, this is your sounds and over here is your MIDI information. So the next step is this. I'm now going to move all of these sounds to the correct, I'm going to move all of these notes to the correct sounds. I'm just going to zoom in a bit on bar 2. Now we have gone through this. But as a reminder, kick drums are usually found on your first beat. So this is the first indication that this note might be a kick drum. To select all of these, in this case, select D4, which will then highlight all of the kick drums. And with your arrows, just move this down to your kick drum. Now, the next one is going to be your snare drum. Your snare drum is usually found on beats 2 and beats 4. So in this case, this B3, notice how I will click this and it'll highlight everything. And I'm now going to move this down to my snare drum. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And what you'll notice now is that my other notes on bar 13. As a reminder, crash cymbals usually don't take place a lot. So obviously that this E4 is probably going to be my crash cymbal. So I'm going to click on this E4. It'll highlight everything. And I'm now going to move that down to my crash cymbal. Hi-hats, closed hi-hats, are normally more of a rhythmic pattern than my open hi-hats. So as you can see here, my hi-hats, this might be the ones that I want to use for my closed hi-hat. Click on C5, which will select everything, and then move this down to your closed hi-hat. Finally, what you want to do is move the last one, which is your open hi-hats, down. Now, as a reminder, if you didn't know about your open hi-hats or your closed hi-hats, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Notice how that this beat doesn't really happen a lot. I'm going to right-click on my grid, and I'm just going to choose 1/8. Notice how that this note now appears halfway between all of my beats. This will indicate to you that this is probably going to be an open hi-hat. Again, click on E5 and move this down now to the open hi-hat. Now that I've got all this, what I would recommend that you might want to do is go into your beats and just make sure that you agree that each one of these sounds that you've chosen, your kick drum, your snare drum, whatever it is, sound good together. So that's this extra step that you may want to take within this.